Hey guys, today we're gonna make bacon. So I'm gonna take you through the steps I do to make bacon for myself because store-bought stuff is not okay. So I have my handy little conversion here because I have a large amount of pork belly this time. And let's get started. So we've got our pork belly. I have 10 pounds here. And then we're going to be putting sugar. I use maple sugar. It gives it a very nice flavor. I have sea salt. I have curing salt. My curing salt is not dyed, but most of them are. So you can find ones without the dye. That's what I did. You don't need a curing salt either. That's optional, but I choose to use it. And then I have ground pepper in my spice holder here. So it's ground pepper, curing salt, salt, and sugar. That's all you need to make your rub for your pork belly to make bacon. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 cups of the sugar. Need 3/4 of a cup of salt. 5 teaspoons of ground pepper, 2 teaspoons of curing salt. And that's everything that goes into the rub for 10 pounds of bacon. So I'm going to mix it all up. Okay, now I'm going to clean up, put all my rub ingredients away, and then we'll move on to the pork. So this is my 10 pounds pork belly. It came in plastic from the butcher shop. So I'm gonna have to open it and then we will rinse it, pat it dry, cut it into usable sizes because this does not fit in my smoker, and go from there. So I have my ridiculously large pork belly, which does not fit on one cutting board, and my smoker tray for sizing. So I'm going to need 3 slices because this doesn't quite fit on 2. So we'll try to cut this into thirds. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so now that I have my pork belly in manageable chunks, I'm going to cover it in the rub, the cure. So there's no real non-messy way to do this. Just sort of cover it as much as you can. Lay it on thick. You want to do all sides. So there's 1. I got 2 more to go. So my 3 rub covered sections of pork belly. So I like to try to put my curing pork belly in vacuum seal bags. I just find it keeps everything neater. You don't have to. You can just put them in a baking tray, some sort of baking sheet. And then make sure you flip them every day, a couple times a day, just so that everybody stays wet. But I do the vacuum seal bags because it just seems to do a little better. It's hard to get them in the vacuum seal bags though. Okay, once I have all my pork bellies in my bags, I like to take whatever rub is left and put it in the bags. that'll just help with the curing process, and it'll use up all my rub. Well, as much as I can. I'm not gonna be able to get this perfectly clean. So I'm gonna wipe the very edge of the bag so that hopefully it can actually seal. And I'm going to click pulse vac on my vacuum sealer. So it latches, but it doesn't vacuum. I'm going to press and hold the pulse vac until I get most of the air out, but before all the juices start running. And then I'm going to seal it. And I'm going to do that for each one. Okay, so I got my bacon curing in the fridge. So what we're going to do with this is every day or so, we're going to flip them over and get all the liquids down to the other side so that our meat will all be in contact with our cure, and it will get evenly cured. So we want to do this, we want to have these curing in the fridge. It doesn't have to be in these vacuum seal bags, I just find it easier. But for 10 to 14 days, then we're going to smoke them. So once our bacon has been curing for about 2 weeks, we're going to pull our lovely pork bellies out of the fridge. It should be firm, but not hard. What we're going to do is we are going to rinse off the extra cure. We're going to pat dry, and then we're going to put them on the trays for the smoker and smoke them. My smoker is a 4-tray smoker, and I'm using 3 just for bacon. So it's about minus 20 degrees Celsius outside, so we need to put the cover that I made for the smoker on so that we can hopefully keep some heat in, keep some wind out, and be able to smoke our bacon tonight. So I put the smoker outside, and while I'm waiting for it to warm up, I'm going to my wood chips, and I'm going to use apple. I need 2 hours worth. So these are 20 minutes each, so I'll need 6 of them. And then I have 2 pushers so that I don't waste any of these wood chip pucks, because you need 2 extra to push it all the way through the machine to get it on the burner. So while my smoker heats up, I'm going to just let the meat rest at room temperature, and hopefully it warms up a little bit. I have a bowl of scorching hot water in the smoker right now, because as these burn, you don't want them to keep burning. And it helps with the humidity in the smoker. So I'm just going to let that all sit for probably an hour for the smoker to warm up, and then we'll throw them on. I didn't get any footage of them going in the smoker or coming out because I live in Canada, And we are still dark by 4 p.m. here, so there's too dark to be outside with the camera. But these are all smoked, 2 hours in the smoker. Aiming for 225 Fahrenheit for the temperature of the smoker. But of course, being winter, it just doesn't get there. Probably got up to 200 today, just for the last like 20 minutes. But I plan on cooking this all, so it doesn't much matter. I'm gonna put this tray in the fridge as is, and then tomorrow I will slice it. You can either slice it by hand, or you can use a meat slicer or vegetable slicer, whatever you want to call it. One of those powered ones like they have at the stores.
I got 21 bags of bacon for the freezer, so that's 21 meals worth of bacon out of my pork belly.